Hey everyone, welcome back again to Wendy's Corner, where, you know, here we provide everyone through, empower people through financial education and retirement strategies because we want to make sure we can start driving changes for now and generations to come. Because there is a such a lack for this type of education. And I can tell people, time and time again, I want you to go back all the way back to your high school days. Was there ever a time anyone sat down and said, "Hey, let's talk about your retirement, different strategies, how life insurance works"? No, it never really happened. But one of the things that we do is, individuals like yourself, you reach out every single day with your questions, and I appreciate your questions. Keep those coming in. But this week, I've kind of been concentrating on the questions that have been coming in about life insurance. How much life insurance do I need? Is life insurance a scam? What's the different type of life insurance that's available? And one of the questions I'm going to focus on right now is how much life insurance do you need? You know, how much? Do you really know? Just throw a number out there. Should I have 250,000? Should I have 2 million? How do I know? Well, it comes down to a quick little calculation called a dime number. Okay. Your dime number, what it is a calculation of your insurability. Now, I went ahead a little bit and I kind of wrote some things down. I did a quick little scenario so you guys can see how this works. So DIME is an acronym. D stands for debt, I for income, M mortgage, and E education or expenses. Now, let's say I've got a gentleman here. He is age 35 years old. He's got two young boys. Um, when I go through and I'll sit down, have some conversations. First thing I'm going to ask is, what do you have for debt? Now, debt, this does not include your mortgage. This is maybe some credit card debt. Maybe you've still got some student loans you're paying. Maybe you're paying off a car. Maybe you're paying off a boat. So in this instance, the individual's got 35,000 in debt. Now, the next one is income. How much income do you make per year? Well, at $100,000 is not going to cut it because if you don't come home tomorrow, your family's going to need way more than just 1 year or 1.5 years of income. The typical insurance policy you get from your employer, which, as you know, I do not consider that insurance. That's an employee benefit. So you need to take your salary and multiply that by 10 because families just don't heal overnight. It takes time. So we say give them 10 years to get acclimated. All right. So you take your income, multiply that by 10. In this situation, that's $1 million. Now, how much you have left to pay off your mortgage? Because obviously, if you don't come home tomorrow and the family is relying on your income to live, we don't want to have them move out, right? We want to pay that house off. So in this case, we have $350,000 left in our mortgage. And with the two little boys hanging out, want to make sure that they've got at least $100,000 for college if something happens and I don't come home tomorrow, right? So put $200,000 down. Add these all together, the dime number is 1.585 million. Most people would think, well, maybe I just need a $500,000 life insurance policy. Maybe I'm good with 1.5 times my salary at work, or maybe I got 2 times my salary, which is 200,000. Not even enough to cover your mortgage. When you really break down your actual total insurable needs, that's where you need to seek coverage. Okay. You can do that through term policies. You can do that through whole life policies and I would recommend because a 1.58 million, a $1.585 million whole life policy is going to be extremely expensive. However, there is such things as IULs that can assist you with that because they're whole life cash accumulation type policies that build it over time. But typically, that term policy is what is going to help you, especially a 30-year term. Make sure it's got living benefits. You know, I'm big on living benefits because they're going to protect you in those times of critical or chronic illness because you can tap into those while you're still living. You don't got to pass away to do that. 74% of people use these policies. So please, if you don't have them, go upgrade. But when you have your dime number in place, now you understand how much do I need to cover my debt. Now, this dime number changes. Maybe you get the house paid off. Maybe you paid off a little bit of debt. The dime number changes. What's important is when you get these life insurance policies at a younger age, they're much more affordable. Obviously, as we get older, things do get more expensive, but you want to make sure that you're covered now. A term policy has its function, the 30 years during your working years when you have your most debt, making sure you're growing your family. So if you have any more questions about this dime number, you know what, feel free to reach out. And we can go over and show, calculate your own dime number so that you can figure out what your total insurable needs are. you have any questions, go ahead and feel free again. I'm Wendy from Wendy's Corner. You can make an appointment with me at yourhiddenpathretirement.com and we can sit down and have a discussion. So till next time, talk to you guys later.